instead move to another also challenging topic, K-12 education, pre-K-12 education, whatever we're calling it these days, very much in the news. We have viewers who are concerned about all kinds of aspects relating to potential changes in the legislature, concerns about teacher seniority on both sides of the question, but also this question of what do we do with the discussion about pre-K. So let's start with our veteran teacher, Representative Erdahl. Talk a little bit about what you see happening with the what I'll call the K-12 budget. It's typically what we've called, historically what we've called it. This is a budget year. This would be something that would be front and center, and certainly there's been much coverage of this. Tell our viewers what you see happening in the legislature.
Well, above the base we have $1 billion from last year. However, I will freely admit that in new money, that's about $157 million that we're putting in new money into education. That's about a 0.5% increase for each year of the biennium. Now, frankly, I think more is going to have to be done. And just generally, we've been talking about health and human services and all of these other spending bills in education. We do have the Senate, even though they're not here tonight. We do have the governor. We do have the House. And some of the numbers that we've been talking about, I've been talking about tonight, at the end of the day are going to be different. And I think that that's going to happen in education as well. I have focused with the legislation that I've been doing in areas in trying to raise up teachers and to ensure a high caliber into the future. So I have bills to offer incentives for getting your master's degree in your content area. In other words, in what you're teaching if you're a teacher. Doing a year-long pilot program for student teaching, for a year-long student teaching course, mentorship, areas like that to help teachers become better or to maintain, because we do have high levels of teachers in the state, but we need to maintain that level. So that's the types of things that I've been concentrating on with education, and I know that the money is important, and that's going to be a big part of where we go and determine, I think, the success of the session, how well we do with education, because, again, it is 40% of our budget, and we'll see what happens. As I said, we got 3 plans out there, and eventually we'll have 1.
What about pre-K? Any thoughts on that? Where that's likely to go this session?
Well, where it's likely to go, the governor, I think, has a budget of about $630 million, and a large section of that goes to pre-K for 4-year-olds. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a value for pre-K, but not if it's taken from the core. The core of education is the formula. And if we're taking money from the formula and not funding what needs to be done to maintain what we're doing now, it doesn't make much sense to try to fund extra or new programs. And so I'm saying if we've got enough money to adequately fund the core and there's money left over, then we can look at some of these other things. But it's very difficult in my mind to do so until you have the core funded properly.
Well, I would note this, that a 0.5% increase each year of the biennium does not even keep up with inflation, which now is north of 2%. And so it's a cut for that reason. And second, we are getting more kids in our schools. So you're actually getting less money because of inflation for more kids. So be no mistake about it, the GOP plan for education is cutting education. And we have to deal with the realities of that. More kids, greater inflation, fewer resources for our kids. And yes, 40% of the budget, that's a big chunk, but I think Minnesotans have made it clear that that's our priority. Honestly, education has always been supposed to be the job of the state governments, and Minnesota has done an extraordinarily better job than most other states with our graduation rates and our ACT scores, our kids going on to college. We should be very proud of where we're at. The pre-K piece, I think, is important because we had a friend over at the Federal Reserve for years when he was there that noted that for every dollar spent in that early childhood or pre-K, you would get a $7 return Some would argue, well, that would dissipate if they didn't get adequate education later on. But I think the governor's proposal is visionary. I think it's a direction we have to move in. Yes, it is expensive, but I think the governor has demonstrated in proposing the pre-K that he has the right priorities for Minnesota. We're going to have to get there at some point, because if Minnesota wants to stay ahead of the curve and educate our kids better than the other states, and we don't want to be a Texas or a Mississippi or an Alabama, then the pre-K is an inevitability.
But using the figures you were giving in terms of what is a cut, the governor and the Senate, with their plans, each have only 1% over the biennium. Those are both cuts too. And that's the concern that I have, that all three plans are, in my opinion, inadequately funding the formula or the core of education, and something has to be done to change that. And once again, as I said, with the pre-K, there's only so much money.
Well, you and I are in the House, and so we don't necessarily have control over what the governor does or the Senate does, but I was more disappointed in the House's proposal than I was in the governor's proposal or the Senate's proposal. And
but those were cuts too.
Yeah, well, using the same logic that I did, yes, we're not prioritizing in the way we should, even from the governor's perspective or the Senate's perspective, okay? But part of that is because of the legacy costs of the irresponsible decisions
that's not my
made.
bill.
The legacy drawings.
Legacy costs. Legacy with a small L,
Okay.
costs of the taxing policy that occurred in 99 and 2000 and 2001. We short-sheeted our own bed back then that deeply affected education as well. Now, some would argue that, well, that gave us the opportunity to look askance at many educational policies that maybe had not been delivering it they had promised. Those all got cut. Well, we cut down to the bone during those times, and then we cut even more because we did this shift that was silly, but we finally paid that back. And so the idea is to be at 0.5% a year, I think, is just unfair to Minnesota school kids.
And I will say that I'm hopeful that through the process that becomes improved.
Well, you have more influence with House leadership than I do.
Some days, I don't know.
The target that the tax committee got to give money back to rich folks compared to our education target, I think, is a travesty.